December 26th, 2000. Christmas Day became the deadliest natural disaster.
Tsunami toll is now reaching levels no heart or mind can truly comprehend.
4 people have been killed. Victims are being buried without ceremony.
The horror was still ahead. Millions of lives trapped in something that shouldn't have happened.
It's impossible to exaggerate the scale of this tragedy. Entire generations wiped out.
It was a calm Sunday morning, with life going on as usual in most countries around the Indian Ocean. However, at 7:58 a.m. Indonesian time, a massive earthquake measuring on the Richter scale struck off the west coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, approximately 19 miles beneath the seabed and about 155 miles south-southwest of Banda Aceh. The province of Aceh immediately felt the tremors. Continued for several minutes. Panic set in. People ran out of their homes, terrified and helpless. Meanwhile, the tremors originating from the Indian Ocean were also felt in the coastal areas of Thailand. Although late evening, the hurricane entered the Gulf of Mexico. They were far less intense than in Sumatra. Sri Lanka and the southeastern coast of India also reported light to moderate shaking. Once the tremors finally stopped, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. But they didn't realize.
November 8th, 2018, 6:33 a.m. A spark on a high-voltage power line in Northern California ignites dry grass. Winds gust at 50 miles.
The nightmare hadn't even begun. The earthquake felt across these countries was extraordinary. It ruptured a 900-mile stretch where the Indian and Australian tectonic plates meet. Instead of delivering a single violent jolt, the shaking continued for an unrelenting 10 minutes, releasing as much energy as several thousand atomic bombs. As a result, the seafloor lifted by several meters, displacing roughly 7.2 cubic miles of water. And while people believed the danger had passed, a new force was quite high.
The vegetation around Paradise hadn't seen meaningful rain in over 6 months. 40 miles to the northeast, a series of high-voltage power lines crossed the Feather River Canyon. Built in 1921, inspected, but only sometimes, and only
building in the Indian Ocean. Unfortunately, the Indian Ocean had no tsunami early warning system. A year earlier, Phil Cummins warned that historical records hinted at another big quake and tsunami near Sumatra, but no one realized his warning was about to turn into prophecy. Out in the deep ocean, the tsunami waves traveled at incredible speeds of up to 560 miles per hour, but their low amplitude made them almost impossible to detect. For those swimming and enjoying the beaches, it seemed like any other warm morning until the ocean gave its first warning. The waves that had been rolling in just moments earlier suddenly went quiet. Then, in an eerie, slow pull, the ocean began retreating far from the shore. People on the beach watched in confusion. Some even stepped towards the disappearing water, trying to understand what was happening. And suddenly, the sea wasn't quiet anymore.
It's coming in. It's coming again!
A deep rumble filled the air, and dark shapes appeared on the horizon. 8:13 a.m. Indonesian time, just 15 minutes after the earthquake, the first colossal wave finally struck Aceh province in northern Sumatra. According to eyewitness reports, the first wave rose gently to the foundation of the buildings, but minutes later, the sea suddenly receded to a great extent, and that's when 2 large, black-colored, massive waves struck the coast, traveling inland to the capital city.
A second wave roars in with unstoppable momentum. Those watching panicking as it engulfs everything.
The waves were as high as 100 feet, and when they slammed into the coast, nothing and no one was left standing. 7-year-old Delisa Fitri Ramadani was at home when the 9.1 earthquake shook her home.